Well, hello and good afternoon. Chris Robinson here. I want to thank you so much for taking some time to join me here this afternoon. I'm excited to be on here with you as we continue talking about the 15 invaluable laws of growth. Today we're going to be talking about chapter number 8, the law of pain. So as we're getting started here today, go ahead and type in the chat where you're watching from. I want to see who's joining us here. It looks like we've got several on so far, but I want to know where you're watching from. So if you could, real quick in the chat, go ahead and type in where you are watching from so I can see who's with us here today as we're going through there. Okay, let me see what we got here. Let me go ahead and open that up today as we're going through there. Okay, let me see what we got here. Let me go ahead and open. There we go. A little bit of sound. There we go. Edgar, good to see you on there as well. And a couple others. Paul, good to see you. Jennifer from Port St. Lucie. Thanks, Jennifer, for being on consistently. I know you've been on several weeks. And again, I'm right down the road from you here in Jupiter here today. We got Gary from Knoxville. Great to have you on. Awesome. All right. Be sure to get that in there. Well, hey, we're going to continue teaching from the 15 invaluable laws of growth. If you have missed any weeks up until this point, I want you to go back through the feed or click on the video button inside the Facebook page there so you can go back and watch the previous 7 weeks. I believe that it'll be of great value to you to go back and take a look at those and get on your growth journey for this year. And so today we're going to be talking about the law of pain, the law of pain. Now, I love this chapter. Now, I know I say that every single week, but each week as I look at these chapters and I look about how I've applied them in my life, how they have not worked in my life and I've struggled to get to them, or how I struggled at one point, was able to overcome them, it really gets me excited to do this because of the game plan and the map that this book lays out. This is one of the 5 books that I read each and every single year because of how foundational it is whenever it is that we are trying to grow in the area of personal growth and development. Hey, Herson, good to see you on there as well, too. All right, thanks for being on this morning. All right, well, hey, let's dive into the law of pain, the law of pain. The law of pain says this. It says, good management of bad experiences leads to growth. Good management of bad experiences lead to growth. Now, I want to ask you the question real quick in the chat. How do you respond to bad experiences? I want you to type in the chat, how do you respond to bad experiences? You can type in good, you can type in bad, you can type in okay, so. But type in the chat, how do you respond to bad experiences? Now, when we think about bad experiences, the quote that is at the front of this chapter is by John McDonald. It says this. It says that every problem introduces a person to themselves. Every problem introduces a person to themselves. So we find out who you really are, who someone really is when they're introduced to a problem in their life. And so here's what we have to understand about problems and bad experiences. There's 3 things that we have to understand about bad experiences. The first thing that we have to understand is that everyone has them. Everyone has them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's not a single person watching this feed right now, not a single person that you will come in contact with today, not a single person that you've ever met in your life that has gone through life and says, hey, I've never had any bad experiences. It's just not going to exist. It just doesn't happen. We all have them. Everyone has them. Here's the way it looks. Either currently right now, you're going through a bad experience, or you're getting ready to go through a bad experience, or you just came out of a bad experience. That's the way that it looks. We all deal with it, and everyone deals with problems. Everyone deals with bad experiences. No one is immune to it. So that's the first thing that you have to need to know. You are not alone. The second thing that we have to understand about problems and bad experiences is that no one likes them. No one likes bad experiences. No one looks to wake up in the morning when you woke up and said, you know what, today, I really want to learn today. I just wish, Lord, today, give me a bad experience. No, not a single one of you woke up this morning, prayed for a bad experience, anticipated a bad experience. That's just not what we want. No one likes bad experiences. If I said, hey, if I can give you the worst week of your life this week, how many of you would want that worst week to happen this week? Not a single person on here would raise their hand and say, hey, I want a bad week this week. But no one likes them. The third thing that you have to understand about bad experiences is that Very few people make bad experiences positive experiences. Very few people make bad experiences positive experiences. And I look at it this way. I seen a quote many years ago that read this. It said, "Did you have a bad day, or did you have a bad 5 minutes that you milked all day?" Did you have a bad day, or did you have a bad 5 minutes that you milked all day? Very few people make bad experiences positive experiences, and so we have to take a look at. One of the things that Peter Daniels, a gentleman who I met many years ago, a billionaire from Australia, he talked about a lot of times we don't know what happiness is or a good day is because we haven't defined what a good day is. We haven't defined what a good day is. We wouldn't know a good day if we haven't seen it because we've never actually sat down and said, hey, what's a good day? What's a bad day? There's bad incidents in our day, but that doesn't dictate that we have an entire bad day. What does it look like for you? So get clear on that so you can identify when you have a good day and that you know it. So very few people make bad experiences positive experience. So how do we turn pain into gain? How do we turn pain into gain? Well, the first thing that you can do is you can choose a positive life stance. A positive life stance. That's a choice that you can make right now. And a positive life stance is this. A positive life stance or a life stance in general is a term used to describe a person's overall frame of reference, the set of attitudes, assumptions, and expectations that people hold about themselves or other people or the world in general. So today, guess what? You have the choice to choose that, hey, I'm going to have a positive outlook on life. Now, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are right now. It doesn't matter if you are in a bad financial situation right now or a good financial situation right now, in a bad relationship right now or a good relationship right now. It's a choice right now on how you choose to view it. Now, I want you to think about right now an area that is below average for you in your life, an area where you have dissatisfaction, an area where you might have pain. Now, I want you to think about that area of life for a second now. Now, if you have a negative thought about that bad experience that you're having, guess what? In this moment right now, you can pause and you can choose to think about it in a negative direction. You may be in a great multitude of debt right now. Guess what? You can choose to focus on that debt, or you can choose right now to focus on what it would look like on the other side of that debt. It's a choice. Now, you're in the exact same position, but I can tell you which one's going to serve you better. The positive outlook is going to serve you better because you're going to always move in the dominant direction of your thoughts. You are going to always move in the dominant direction of your thoughts. And so in this positive life stance, hey, look, we want to choose to think and have a positive stance. This is what John Maxwell wrote out as a positive life stance and how he described it. The positive life stance looked like this as he wrote this out to make clear in his thinking. He says, life is filled with good and bad. Some of the good and bad I can't control. That's life. Some of the good and bad will find me. If I have a positive life stance, the good and bad will become better. If I have a negative life stance, the good and bad will become worse. Therefore, I choose a positive life stance. It's a choice. It's yours. So the first thing, if you want to change your pain into gain, you have to choose a positive life stance. The second thing that you have to do is you have to embrace and develop creativity. You have to embrace and develop creativity. Tony Robbins said it best. He says that you do not lack resources, you lack resourcefulness. You see, when we get into a bad experience, we can either embrace our creativity to find our way out of it, or we can remain and stay in the exact same place. But oftentimes, bad experiences introduce us to opportunities that we are not aware of at the moment. And so you have to look for the good inside of that, and you have to embrace your creativity. Neil Donald Walsh said this, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So when that bad experience happens, you have a choice if you're going to choose to continue to do the same thing so you can get the same result, or choose to look for a different way, embrace a different way to overcome whatever obstacle you have to go in a different direction. All right? And so we want to make sure that we embrace and develop our creativity in bad experiences. The third thing that we have to do is we have to embrace the value of the bad experience. We have to embrace the value of the bad experience. Facing difficulties is inevitable. Learning from them is optional. Facing difficulties is inevitable. Learning from them is optional. It's a choice. I think about a gentleman who asked me the other day. I was just getting into a new program where I was getting some coaching. I was getting some information so that I could take action in a specific area of my life. And I had purchased a program and a course that I didn't feel like was a great fit for my kids to be able to learn, because I want them to learn this skill too. And so I bought the program. And as I was speaking with the representative about purchasing this program, he says, well, since you purchased that other program and you don't plan to use it, why didn't you call back and get a refund so you don't lose that money? And I laughed and I said, oh, no. You see, here's the thing. I've never lost a dime in business. I've just paid a whole lot of tuition. I said, there's something to learn from that. It's just not in the format that I want for my kids to learn it. So that's still useful to me. And so where some might look at it, well, that's a loss of money. No. I've never lost a dime in business, but I've paid a whole lot of tuition. Everything that we do, we have to embrace that creativity, and we have to embrace the value of the bad experience. I have a friend of mine who just recently came out of a stock trade, and he was just positive that this stock was going to go up. I mean, he was so positive on it. He moved money from everywhere, and he bought something where he was going to just knew that this stock was going to go the direction that he wanted. Well, the earnings report came out. He had put everything on it. And sure enough, it didn't go the direction that he wanted. Now, what would happen for many is they would walk away and go, oh, my goodness, he lost that money. And I was on the phone with him, and he says, oh, no. He goes, I had to learn that. He says, that was the best amount of money that I ever lost, because now I know that lesson. He says, I couldn't have learned that lesson from a book. I couldn't have learned that lesson from a video. I had to learn that myself. That's the way that I learn. That's a learner. That's a person that's growing. That's a person that's going to get better because he embraced the value of a bad experience. Now, the fourth thing that you have to do is do what this friend of mine did. Make good changes after learning from the bad experience. Make good changes after learning from the bad experience. I love this quote. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. A lot of times what happens after bad experiences, we never go back and we never touch it again. Look, you just have to learn from it. You have to make good changes after that bad experience, because it's a way to learn and it's a way to grow. The number 5, if you want to grow from your bad experiences, you have to take responsibility for your life. You have to take responsibility. An easy thing to do is to blame someone. I've got 6 kids. I've got triplets. I've got twins. I've got a single. And I think about one of my triplets that's 15 years old, and he was going to get his driver's permit. His brother had went a couple days before, had everything that he needed to get the documentation to get the driver's permit. And then sure enough, his brother says, hey, Dad, I want to go. I said, do you got everything? He says, yep, I got everything. Let's go. We get there, and he's missing one document. Now, I love this boy. But what were the first words out of his mouth? It's my brother's fault. He didn't tell me everything I needed. I said, no. It's not your brother's fault. He said, well, it was the lady at the DMV's fault because she didn't say what I needed, and I thought it was something else, and I actually had it. I said, no. This is no one's fault but your own. You have to take responsibility. And oftentimes when we make a mistake in life, we had a bad experience in life, we want to blame other people. We want someone that we can point the finger to, but there's no reason to point fingers. There's no reason to cast blame on anyone else. We just have to look at ourselves and say, hey, what can I learn from this experience? How can I get better? No matter what you've gone through in life, or what you're currently going through, you have an opportunity to grow from it. So I hope that you've had the opportunity to grow today. It's been an honor and privilege to be with you. If you have not picked up this book yet, be sure to pick up this book so that you can join us each week. You can get it from maxwellleadership.com/15 Laws. Pick up a copy there. Hey, and if you are a person that has a desire to speak, coach, or train, or develop others inside of your community or organization, be sure to take a look into our Maxwell Leadership Certified team, where we train speakers, coaches, and trainers in order to make an impact and a difference inside their current organization or to go out and build a business of your own. If you'd like more information about that, be sure to check out leadwithjohn.com, leadwithjohn.com, and one of our program advisors will reach out to you to tell you more about it. I hope that you got value today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.